하이샤 아이샤크입니다. 자, 이번 영상에서는 Dear Esther라는 게임을 해보도록 하겠습니다. 자, 현재 이 게임은 스팀에서 무료 배포 중이고요. 관심 있으신 분들은 받아가시는 걸 추천드려요. 자, 스팀에서 오랜만에 또 무료 배포 소식이네요. 이 게임은 공식적인 한글화는 없는데 한글 패치는 존재하기 때문에 이런 식으로 이렇게 한글 패치를 하시면 이렇게 한글이 적용되시는 걸 볼 수가 있어요. 그리고 이 게임은 뭐 대충 설명 보면은 그냥 돌아다니는 것 같아요. 그냥 섬을 돌아다니는 거? 뭐 그거 이상은 없는 것 같아요. 대충 평가를 훑어보니까 뭐 이 게임을 해서 힐링이 된다 혹은 힐링이 안 된다 라는 평가가 있고요. 뭐 걷는 거 말고는 하는 게 없다 뭐 이런 얘기가 있는데, 뭐 그렇다면은 뭐 10분인가 20분 정도면 뭐 끝날 것 같기도 하고, 뭐 아무튼 플레이를 해봐야지 알 수 있겠죠, 그런 건. 자, 바로 시작해 보도록 할게요. 디렉터의 코멘터리를 듣는다 안 듣는다. 일단 듣는 걸로 체크를 하고 등대. 이 게임은 이 디렉터의 코멘터리를 듣는 거하고 주위를 보면서 걷는 거, 그 이상은 뭐 할 게 없다고 하네요. 일단은 뭐야 이거?
Hello everyone, I'm Dan Pinchbeck. I'm the creative director of the Chinese Room, and this is the Dear Esther
디렉터가
developers
진짜로
commentary.
그냥 녹음을 했네, 게임 안에다가.
I'm the artist on Dear Esther.
And I'm Jessica Curry, and I was the composer on.
이거 혹시 자막 있니? 그치, 자막이 있어야지.
So what you're looking at today is a remake of a mod. Dear Esther started off in 2007 as a Half-Life 2 mod that did really well in the modding community, which was fantastic. And as a result of that, attracted the attention of Rob, who worked as the primary developer on a Source remake of the game that was released in 2012. And this year is another remake where it's been updated for a cross-platform release. And I wanted to add in this developer's commentary just to give you a bit more of an insight into some of the ideas behind the games that came together.
와, 가만히 있었으니까 와 존나 무서웠다 방금. 와, 바닷속에 들어갔을 땐 이렇게 움직이고 있으면 헤엄을 쳐가지고 간이네. 들어가면 그냥 물속에 빠지네. 와, 졸라 무서워. 갑자기 시꺼매지고 있어.
Hello everyone, I'm Dan Pinchbeck. I'm the creative director of the Chinese Room, and this is the Dear Esther developers commentary.
Hi, I'm Rob Briscoe. I'm the artist on Dear Esther.
And I'm Jessica Curry, and
눈
I
딱
was the
감고
composer on
한번
the game.
바닷속으로 들어가 볼까?
So what you're looking at today is a remake of a
존나
mod.
무서운데?
Dear Esther started off in 2007 as a Half-Life 2 mod.
한번 들어가 보자.
Did really well in the modding community, which was fantastic. And as a result of that, attracted the attention of Rob, who worked as the primary developer on a Source remake of the game that was released in 2012. And this year is another remake where it's been updated for a cross-platform release. And we wanted to add this developer's commentary just to give you a bit more of an insight into some of the ideas behind the games that came together.
도전 과제가 있구나. 이런 식으로 섬을 탐험을 하는 건데, 이거 전혀 힐링이 안 되는데 난? 시작부터 공포감인데. 공포밖에 없는데.
So you'll see around you in a lot of the environments, there's a lot of detail ingrained into everything. One of the things that I wanted to do with Dear Esther is bring the visuals up to the same kind of level of detail that Dan and Jess had put into the other areas of the game. So all of the history and the kind of
손전등은 뭐 이렇게
hidden
건물 안에
pieces of
들어가면
story that
자동적으로
are intertwined
켜지고요.
with the VOs and the music and stuff. I kind of wanted to bring some of that into the environments. So if you look around you, you'll see that there's a lot of interesting bits and pieces, a piece of paper with someone's name on it, a photograph, an ultrasound. All of these little bits and pieces are kind of laid in to
요
just kind of bring
자막도
another
한글로 번역이
aspect of
되었으면은
the story
훨씬 더 좋았을
into the
텐데
game. And also,
한글 패치가
they're
한글
actually
패치가 아니네.
randomized, so every time you play, you'll see something different lying around. And this is just to build on this idea that everybody has a unique experience and a unique
아니
interpretation
가장
of the
중요한
story.
걸 한글 패치를 안 하면 어떡하자는 거지? 이 동굴인가? 왜 동굴로 들어갔을 때는 후레쉬를 안 켜냐? 아, 이 이상 못 가네. 오, 흔들리는 거 봐. 와. 근데 바닷속에 들어가는 건 진짜 무서웠다. 어? 떨어지면 죽는 건 아니지? 아! 죽지는 않네. 진짜로 이렇게 걸어 다니는 게 끝이다.
When I wrote the music for the mod of Dear Esther, there was absolutely no budget whatsoever for live players, so all the music was sampled. But one of the good things
제작자의
about that
이런
is it actually
코멘터리만
forced me to be quite creative about how I
듣는
wrote
게임.
the music. So with my background
확실히
in
이 게임을
sound art,
하면서
I wanted to
뭔가
use samples in a different way that wasn't just
힐링을 할 수도
using it to
있는
sound like
사람이
a violin. I wanted to time
있을 수도
stretch
있고
and manipulate
오히려
samples to
힐링이
make
안 될
something
수도 있긴
different
하겠다.
and strange and quite unique. But then when we got the Indie Fund money, I had
이 게임
So people have asked why the
가격이 10,000원
Dear
정도
Esther's set
했었나?
on a Hebridean island. What's really interesting about this is one of those times when
그랬던
your
것
kind of
같은데.
aspirations as an artist and the practical realities kind of dovetail. We knew that we had to have some way of limiting the player from disappearing off the play
아까 전에
space. And when we made the
바닷속에 들어간
original,
거
it was a mod.
무서워가지고
Because it was a Half-Life 2 mod, you
아직도
kind of had
심장이
Eastern
거칠게
European
뛰는 것
city,
같아.
spaceship, or blasted, desolate landscape. We had three options if you didn't want to start making any other assets. So it started off with these practical constraints. We don't want to set it on a spaceship. We don't want to set it in a
제작자 코멘터리는 그냥 듣지 말 걸 그랬나?
one of the things you're always trying to do as a composer is create memorable things.
한글
And-
자막이 떴으면은 좀 모르겠는데 요런 메뉴만 한글이고 저거는 한글이 아니면 아니 한국어인데 한국어
Slight confession is that
자막이 안
probably the most
뜨는데
memorable theme, which is Remember in Dear Esther, wasn't actually
이게
created
무슨 한글
for the game.
패치냐고요?
Rob's
I'm-
looking shocked.
나도
So it was
웃겨.
actually from
너무 어이가 없어서.
a piece of choral music that I'd written years before, based on a Christina Rossetti poem called Remember. And one of the things I was talking
일단
about
이
earlier
게임의
was how I didn't have any
목적은
budget.
이
So I had this piece
섬
of
같은
choral
데를
music, and I thought, hang on, this is
돌아다니면서 탐험을
absolutely
하는 것
perfect for
같은데.
Esther. But I don't want to use all of it. So the only bit that you actually get in the game is the first line of the choral piece of music.
이게 뭐 달리기
that-
같은 키가 없으니까
white lines.
Yeah.
They actually did this. It was really
답답함을
I found
느낄
this
수도
historical
있겠네.
document. They used to do this on Bora and the Hebrides. If their disease broke out,
Really?
they'd
일단
actually chip
나는
out and expose the chalk. So if you're on a boat and you're coming to
바다
the island, you know
때문에서라도
not to land
힐링은
because it was
전혀 안
infectious,
된다.
which is the coolest, most amazing. It's one of those things
와
where you go.
이런 여기를 못
It's almost
올라간다고?
impossible as a writer to come up with something as cool
정해진
as that. It
길만
just has to be something
따라가게
that's
돼
actually done,
있네.
and it's so sad as well. And I love this bit and the fact that we can do it because it feels really real because it references a real
도저히
thing,
길을
and I
벗어날
know there's
수가
something really special about that. But it was always one of those bits in the game that I thought we've got to be able to represent this somehow. We have to be able to get these things in here.
Yeah, I mean, that's really interesting. I actually didn't know that was actually based historically. Something that I wanted to bring through in the art of the game was
지금
the
내가 맞는
same
길로
kind of
가고 있는
fidelity that you find in both Jessica's music and Dan's writing. in the same kind of way that you have all of these little details, these very
뭔가 그리고
close attentions to detail that
힐링이라기에는
kind of
BGM도
really
뭔가
bring
좀
richness to
암울해.
the story. And something that was missing in the original mod version was just this lack of.
이
There's a scene
코멘터리가
in Donnie
없었으면은
Darko where
엄청
Drew
암울했을
Barrymore's
것 같은
playing
느낌?
his English teacher, and she talks about Celador as being the
여기가
most
길이 맞는
beautiful
것
word in the
같네.
English language, and
아까
about
전에
it's the sound of
동굴에서
the words
봤던
together. And Dear
그
Esther
장소인
actually
것
comes
같은데?
from the introduction from a Faith No More song, the Crab song on the first album, Introduce Yourself. And there's a point where I think it's Chuck at that point as the vocalist before Mike Patton just says
일단
Dear
마우스
Esther,
오른쪽
and it
버튼을
really lodged with me
누르면은
because the sound
확대,
Dear Esther just has a
왼쪽
really
버튼으로
amazing
또
sound
확대.
to it. And I think when we started making it, and the idea of it being this
양쪽 다
series of
확대.
letters to someone came through, it just came straight back out of going, that's just a really beautiful sounding combination of words.
일단
And I think
어?
that really sums up the whole approach to the writing in Dear Esther of what's
저기도 길이 있었네.
what's the most beautiful combination of words and images we can put together, and to do it that way rather than writing a traditional plot as such. So yeah, Dear Esther, Faith No More and Doom, that's where it comes from.
일단 저 동굴로 들어가면 되는 거겠지? 내가 아까 전에 저기에서 여기를 봤던 거고. 와, 멋지다. 멋지긴 멋지다. 와, 이런데 한번 진짜 와보고 싶긴 하다. 벽화인가? 멋있는데? 무슨 의미의 벽화지? 일단 이쪽은 길이 없고, 갈매기 우는 소리도 들리네. 저 갈매기 맞지? 자, 코멘터리는 이렇게 살짝쿵 피해주고, 어차피 들어봐야 이해 못해. 번역이 안 돼서. 일단 여기가 길인 것 같은데, 혹시 저 빨간색 등대 불빛을 따라가는 건가? 아, 여긴 길이 아니구나. 일단 이게 맞는 길인 것 같네. 저기 코멘터리 있고, 아까 전에 챕터 1, 2, 3, 4 이렇게 있었는데 한 챕터가 끝나면은 그냥 게임이 끝나는 건가? 아니면은 이어져서 플레이를 하는 건가? 이건 뭔가 인공적인 건가? 돌 배치가? 이거 진짜 할 거 없고 시간 많은 사람이나 플레이 할 것 같은 느낌? 근데 이 주인공은 이 섬에를 어쩌다가 오게 됐대? 한 챕터 끝난 건가? 아, 챕터 하나 끝나고 두 번째 챕터. 아, 이런 식으로 넘어가는구나. 자, 뭐 이 정도면 뭐 그치? 두 번째 챕터 열렸네. 이렇게 두 번째 챕터를 들어가면은 여기서부터 이 정도면 짧은데? 일단 개발자의 저 코멘터리는 끄는 게 나으려나? 아이, 개발자 코멘터리를 한글 패치를 안 하면은 한글 패치가 의미가 있나? 거참. 자, 아무튼 이렇게 디어 에스더라는 게임을 플레이를 해봤는데요. 한 챕터만. 챕터 첫 번째 거만 해서 그런지 뭐 이 주인공이 왜 여기 있는지는 잘 모르겠는데 후반으로 가면은 왜 여기 있는지를 알 수 있겠죠? 알 수 있겠지? 자, 아무튼 현재 이 게임은 스팀에서 무료 배포 중이고요. 관심 있으신 분들은 받아가시는 걸 추천드려요. 일단 저는 이 게임 하면서 힐링이 되면서 안 되는 느낌? 일단 초반 바다에 빠지는 것 부분은 무서운데? 공포밖에 안 돼. 이 게임 공포 게임인가? 공포 게임은 아닌 걸로 알고 있는데. 자, 아무튼 영상은 여기서 마무리를 하도록 하겠습니다. 자, 이번 영상은 여기까지. 시청해주셔서 감사합니다. 바이샤.